This is Anthony from All Metal Music. I'm on the phone with Schmier from Destruction. How have you been?
Doing really good actually. We just had a nice tour in Latin America, and now I just come back from rehearsal. We're gonna hit the streets here in Europe next week. So yeah, looking forward to Europe again because we didn't play here for a while. We've been just playing festivals over and over in the last 2 years. So looking forward, to have a nice, decent tour for the next 4 weeks just in the old country.
Do you have a favorite festival to play that you play, or are they all good?
There's a lot of good ones. I mean, of course, Wacken is the best for the band because it has the biggest audience and it's just immense turnout. But there's some other really good ones. I mean, I don't know how many we have in Europe now, but there's so many big festivals. I mean, after Wacken, there's the Grass Pop in Belgium, which is huge also now. Meanwhile, has like 50,000, 60,000, and also some other German festivals have like 40,000, 50,000. So it's a lot of huge festivals. I love the festivals on one side, but on the other side, they of course also kill the daily business. That means, if you want to tour in Europe now, it's hard because there's so many festivals in summertime.
Do you have a preference of playing festivals or small shows?
I think both is great. The small shows are, of course, intense because the thrash audience is more more intense in a small room. But of course, the huge festivals are amazing because for a thrash band, it was unusual to play festivals like this some years ago. So it's of course always a great thing used to be in front of a huge audience.
You touched upon the Latin American tour you did. How did that go? Were there any shows that really stood out in your mind?
Pardon me, I didn't get the whole question.
You touched upon the Latin American tour you did last month. How did that go? Were there any shows that were really good to you?
Oh yeah, I mean there have been a lot of good ones actually. I think what's always outstanding is, of course, Santiago de Chile is always great. We played there now, I don't know, 5 or 6 times already, and it's always fantastic. And also Bogota, Colombia, is always really crazy. Of course, Sao Paulo in Brazil is like our kind of our second home, meanwhile, because we played there so many times. But also we played the second time in Argentina, in Buenos Aires, which was also a different audience than normally. They were more singing along, and yeah, a lot of the shows were outstanding because usually the crowd isn't so much into singing on a thrash metal show, but in some of the Latin countries, the people are singing the lyrics louder than myself. So I couldn't hear myself sometimes singing. Just I could hear the crowd louder than me. That was fucking insane because we're not such a sing-along band.
You've stated in the past that South America might be the best continent for metal. Did they live up to that this time around?
It's still like this. Just now they have an overdose of bands going there, and you have to see that the income of a normal worker is maybe $200 or $300 a month, and the ticket price is usually $25 to $30 for a ticket. So imagine for the kids, it's really hard to go to all the shows and get the money, for the gigs. So you can tell now that it's more difficult to tour down there because many people have heard about the good reputation, about the fanfare, so everybody wants to play there now. So, of course, it's a little more difficult now, but it's still the same spirit. People died for metal down there.
You currently have a contest going where you can win a Destruction tattoo. Who came up with that idea, and how can people enter?
It's, I think the contest is going until the 21st, so I think it's tomorrow is the last day. But it was a good idea because on tour, the last tours, I saw many people having the Destruction tattoo. Many people had this Destruction skull tattoo, and it became kind of our special, our special sign. And I thought it would be a great thing to give away one of those tattoos for a real fan. And we had a very good response so far. So I think it was a good idea. I'm a big Tattoo fan, so for me, if somebody gets a destruction tattoo, it's a very special thing. It means really dedication, and we thought we'd give this away for a special fan. And response was great, so I think it was a good idea.
Some people have hailed D.E.V.O.L.U.T.I.O.N as the best Destruction album since you came back. Do you agree with that?
I'm happy when people say that this is a good album because, of course, with the years, you always, people always judge you on the first albums, which are classics. So it's great to see that people see that we still try to put a lot of passion and work into our albums. And for me, it's hard to say, which is the best one since the reunion, but D.E.V.O.L.U.T.I.O.N is definitely like one of the highlights, together with the Antichrist, I think.
How have the fans taken to the new material when you play it live?
We'll see. We just started to play some stuff in Latin America. We played the first 2 songs, and the album was just coming out at that time. So it usually takes 2 or 3 months until everybody heard the album. So we will experience that now here in Europe when we hit the road next week. But I can tell that the title track had already a very good response in Latin America.
The track Urge, the Greed of Gain has guest spots from Jeff Waters of Annihilator and Gary Holt of Exodus. How come those 2 were chosen to make the guest spots?
Because they're, first of all, great friends, and second, they're some of my guitar heroes. And we always meet on the road, meet on festivals, and we always have a talk and a chat, and sometimes we talk about jamming together. And I thought on this anniversary album, when we were talking about, which people could join us, I had Jeff Waters and Gary Holt in my mind right away. So, yeah, when I rang them up, they were all right with us right away, and we're excited to do it. So it's a little gift for ourselves, actually, because we're fans ourselves of those bands and of those guitar players. So it's something that you can look up to in some years. When you look back at this album, you will say, hey, man, we had some of the greatest players on this record, which is, nice thing. We're all friends, and it's nice to work together after all those years.
You've also stated Lemmy from Motorhead is one of your biggest influences. What did you think of the new Motorhead album that came out a few months ago?
I think it's a classic as always. I mean, they had a little weaker period for some years, but now they're going strong. I mean, and what you expect, what you get. It's Motorhead. It's one of the most classic rock bands ever, and I remember when we toured with Motorhead in '88, Lemmy had some very desperate years. He had just a new lineup together. It was the rock and roll album that came out, and before the Other Perfect Day album wasn't selling very well, so he was really kind of, he didn't have a good time at that time. I could tell he was kind of depressed. So for me, it's great to see that a band like Motorhead is going stronger than ever now, because here they're playing big venues now again, and they have a lot of new followers, and Motorhead is one of the bands that really deserves it, because they've been going through good and bad times, and they've always been doing their thing, so they're big idols for me.